Hi, and welcome to Australian Gamers Friday Night Podcast. I'm Matt.
And I'm Yug.
Tonight we're going to be talking about Manhunt 2, and it's being banned everywhere.
100,000 Wiis have been sold in Australia.
And
really dramatic.
we'll talk a bit about Project Joystick.
Yes.
Yug is very good at numbers.
There's
not even
zeros.
maths there. You didn't even have to calculate anything. You just had to read the number.
You never hear people being overly dramatic about $100,000. It's always
No, million is a nice round number.
You know, so
Yeah.
I mean, if maybe I should have said 1/10 of a million.
Yeah, 1/10 of a million, or
I just want to say million. Frankly, that's
0.1 of a million.
anyway. Let's talk about that. Let's jump straight to the middle topic.
Wiis.
Yeah.
There's been lots of Wiis in Australia, apparently.
How many puns can we fit into this episode about the Wii?
About 100,000, I reckon.
100,000.
That's our challenge.
Well, okay. I got
One pun for
a
every
completely unprepared question for you then. How many of the other consoles? How many 360s or? We do know this stat, don't we?
We don't know the current stat right now because they only announce it when it's of interest.
Right now. It might change in 5 minutes' time.
Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Yeah, we don't know what it is for this season, but it was. It did have the Wii and the Xbox relatively close to PlayStation 3, lagging behind a fair bit.
Yep.
In keeping with the massive price difference.
Massive price and the fact that it came out last.
Oh, and it came out last. Yeah.
So there's that, but that's sort of expected.
I think more interesting than how many they've sold to date would be how many they're selling every week. I think that's the stat we should try to find out, because that's more relevant, really.
We don't know that study, though, do we?
Well, we don't just walk into eBay and go, so how many did you sell? They have to be made available before we have them.
We don't actually know any stats apart from this 100,000 stat, do we?
We're not statisticians. We're not here for.
Is there such thing as a statistician?
Oh dear God! Yes, in short.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Guess what they do? They deal with things to do with statistics.
They're the ones that stand in the hospitals and yell, "Stat!"
You said that out loud.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on. We were just talking about making puns about the Wii.
That's not Wii related.
I know, but
it's a hospital pun.
It was just as bad.
I don't.
Anyway, 100,000 Wiis have sold in Australia. That is...
For Australia, that's a lot.
That is a lot, yeah.
We look at bigger markets like the US, and we go, wow, only 100,000, that's not a lot. But for Australia, that's pretty impressive.
I think, more importantly, I mean, Australia has completely and utterly and totally embraced the Wii. And the 360 as well, to a lesser extent. But
people are Wiiing everywhere. And the 360's been successful, but largely because it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
And now it's built up a really good library and stuff. But
although I would like to say, for
not.
the record, that my 360 now has the three red rings of death.
Really?
My 360 has failed.
You've died as well?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. That actually means...
Did you totally fail to mention that? You'd never mentioned that before. Why is that not a topic?
I got it back from you, and it's not... Actually, it wasn't you or anything like that. But it's... Why is it not a topic? Because it's happened to AJ and Brett.
Yeah, I know, but this is you, and it seems like a fairly good opportunity to have a really major bitch.
Well...
because, quite frankly, that's... Well, I was going to say the F word, but...
To be honest, I mean... Between the Xbox, actually all in 1 week, I've had the Xbox 360, not only the red rings and have it fail, but if anyone's read the front of the site, I've also not been able to renew my Xbox Live account. I've heard all the stories about all people out there who have had this problem before. If you don't renew your Xbox Live account after, I think it's something obscure like 68 days, they will suspend indefinitely your account. You cannot renew your account, and you cannot re-register the same name.
Yep.
That name is gone. Cannot be used. That means all your gamer points gone. Any of the money that you've put into your account to be able to buy stuff gone. Cannot be accessed. Cannot be transferred. And the worst thing for me was your MSN, your
contact list thingy,
Microsoft Live thing. Cannot be put to a different username for 6 months after cancellation for some reason.
Yeah.
the
Seems
whole
kind
thing,
of arbitrary.
the whole thing, and then my 360 died. It's left a very sour taste in my mouth. I'm not very happy about that. So
that might not be the Xbox 360.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that could cause that.
I see. There's just some things that you don't say on a podcast.
No, not with me. No.
Anyway, look,
then again, I'm the one who called you from the beat.
That is true, which is a gay nightclub in the Valley in Brisbane the other night.
It's not just a gay nightclub.
Yes, it is.
No, the bottom floor is completely straight.
Were you in the bottom floor?
No.
There we go.
I think I was in the gayest section of the top floor.
Yes, I'm sure you were.
There were a lot of very scantily clad boys. It was disturbing. And the girl I was trying to hit on left with another girl.
Really? That worked out well for you, didn't it?
It was a good plan. She wasn't gay. Apparently the place just turned her. So I think it was a lucky escape for me, all in all.
Or not. But anyway, that's the end of my little monologue rant about the Xbox 360. I should be more angry. I should be.
Yeah, you should, because you're like, that's the end of my monologue, and all you said was, "Yeah, it died."
I'm sorry. I just feel really kind of deflated about. And
you do realise.
I'll be completely honest as well. I actually haven't really had my 360 here for months now. I swapped it with a mate of mine to borrow his Wii. For a couple of months and play some games and keep that, and that was great fun. But I just
right up to the point where you played all the games and there aren't anything else to play.
Pretty much. And then Matt got a high definition TV, so we put the Xbox over there, sort of thing, because that's exciting. You want something to whatever. And he proceeded not to play it at all.
No, not at all.
And I've been playing mostly PC games and things like that. So it's.
But you do realise that. Like, I think you're just in shock, but you do realise that your Xbox 360 is dead. Like someone has come over to your house and taken out $650 from your wallet and just done a poo and wrapped it in that and then flushed that down the toilet.
I know what you're saying, but you've also got to understand that I spend a lot of money on a lot of stupid things.
That's true.
So it's... When something dies, or when I lose money, or if I make a bad investment or purchase something that, in retrospect, is stupid, I sort of just shake it off and go, typical.
Typical me. But the thing is, that's not typical you. This is some expensive hardware that you bought, and it does not work.
When I did get it, it wasn't right. But I haven't completely read through the forum. I mean, Brett and AJ and a lot of other people, a lot of our other readers have already been through this. And from what I can see, they have successfully found ways to actually get it replaced under warranty or through wherever.
So how many of our reviewers actually have an Xbox 360?
I have one, AJ has one, Oracle has one, Samo has one, Brett has one.
I didn't ask you to please list them. I said how many.
I had to say them. You were supposed to count. I say names.
I totally didn't.
All right. You know what? I can't count and say the names at the same time.
All right, how about I count?
All right. Me, Brett, Samo, Oracle, AJ, and Romy.
Okay, so that's 6, and of those 3 have died. Is that right?
1, 2, 3. Yes, that's right. Half of our reviewers.
That's half. That's a 50% failure rate on the Xbox 360s.
That's
at like 2 weeks after the. Well, a short time after their warranties would expire.
My Super Nintendo still works.
Yeah, that's what
it is worth noting. It is worth pointing out. My original Xbox still works, and that thing got the crap beaten out of it, sort of thing. Like, it got hit hard and knocked around and pulled.
I thought you meant it got really heavy use, but no, you mean it actually got physically abused. It actually got
physically abused. I actually ended up giving it to my cousin, where it sat up on the top of his shelf, and kids would literally come by. You know how the cords that they pull out? They actually got so loose that we had to sticky tape them together.
So they'd stay together?
Which kind of defeats the purpose of them.
Yeah,
but, so kids would run past and pull the whole system off.
Wow.
And it got slammed, and it still works fine. I hesitate to say that the 360 is actually one of the most delicate consoles that I've ever used.
Why? Why do you hesitate to say that? And you didn't actually hesitate before saying that.
No,
you stuttered briefly, but I don't think it's the same thing.
I said that I hesitate to say it because I remember when I first got the original Xbox, it seemed very big and very bulky, and it was like a bit. I remember
it is built like a tank.
but even the
Everyone complained about that, but in hindsight,
even the PlayStation 2 Slimline, which I've had a couple of problems with, and that seems very flimsy and a bit flaky and not quite solid. And
no, see, I disagree. I like it because it feels small, but small and compact. The original Xbox felt much like building material. It's basically a
industrial sort of.
Yeah, it's basically a Besser block. You could build with Xboxes.
You could build a house.
You could build a house.
Mortar and Xboxes.
You just make up pronunciation for words sometimes, don't you?
No, not on purpose.
I reckon you could get a nice house out of Xbox 360s and GameCubes because you got this nice square.
That's true.
I think
the squares and the rectangles.
Yeah,
sort of
I think they'd lock together
nice
really nicely. Yeah,
going around the archway sort of thing.
You can do some delicate work with the Xbox 360s.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Slim PlayStation Slim lines to fill in some of the gaps.
The gaps, yeah. Skirting around the windows, maybe.
Yeah, that kind of edges and stuff.
I think that'd be nice.
Little console house.
Yeah, I can't believe we've run with that for that long.
I know.
Look, at end of the day, I'm going to look into. Obviously, I still have the receipt. I bought my Xbox on launch night, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I may have got mine
extended warranty
through Spectre World.
Time to hit up your retailer.
Yeah, all right.
Might not work in your favour.
Well, anyway, that's. I'll look into that, and I'll obviously let everyone know how it goes. But anyone else who's had their 360 fail on them, I mean, by all means, go check out our forum where Brett and AJ already have had extensive experience with this and have successfully gotten their Xbox 360s replaced. I think not much or no cost.
Well, it shouldn't be. It's supposed to work. Like, for all that there's a warranty concept, there is also an established fact that the thing should work.
But nothing works forever. Especially electrical equipment.
Apparently Super Nintendos do.
Yeah, apparently Super Nintendo. My computer hard drive.
Have you taken out the disc blown on it and put it back in?
Right. I hadn't thought of that before. But, yeah. My hard drive and my computer fails. You know, it's like my graphics card stops working. I mean, it's just stuff. I think I'm so used to using computers. I'm so used to computer type equipment just failing and just not working. That when the 360 sort of, it's sort of like, oh yeah.
Well, that would be fine if you could go down to Umart and get a new hard drive.
Yeah.
But you can't, so you've got a fairly expensive bit of kit.
Anyway, look, let's move on. There's no point talking anymore about that. I will let people know how I go.
Yep.
And I plan to talk to AJ and Brett very extensively about what they did, and I'll let everyone know how it goes.
Cool.
And by the way, if anyone does have my Xbox Live account on their friends list, I suggest deleting it. I'm not going to be using it any time ever.
Yeah, because of the not being able to.
The not being able to. Yeah, that's a big factor.
On a very closely related topic, I saw Knocked Up last night.
Was it funny?
It was hilarious.
I really was. I've heard
it was so
hilarious.
damn funny.
Yeah?
Yeah, and also Catherine, I think is her name, Catherine Hegel.
She's hot, isn't she?
Yeah, I want her.
There we go. You want to knock her up.
I want to knock her up. Yeah. No, not especially, but I do want to have sex with her. But the actual impregnating part isn't important.
Yep. Okay.
We can move on from
that
now. I just thought I'd mention that because this is a Friday night podcast and people go, I'm going to see a movie. What should I see? That Knocked Up. I wonder if that's any good. Well, the answer is yes.
Well, Matt recommends it. So, and just to segue to our next segment. Do you
mean the little scooter things?
No.
No, you do that to me every time. I just thought it was fair.
Do I?
Yeah, I don't use the word anymore because you think that's funny every time because you forgot you used it last time.
Knocked up is a very adult concept about actually getting a woman pregnant.
Oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Talking about adult-only concepts and ratings, that was really bad, wasn't it?
So bad.
Can you do a better one?
Yes.
Go.
Moving on to Manhunt 2.
Oh, come on.
I'm not going to try to link it.
Manhunt 2.
Catherine Hegel was in a movie with Kevin Bacon, and no.
Manhunt 2, rated AO in America. AO. Do you know, we used to have AO here in Australia.
Yeah, the ratings changed years ago. I remember that.
I think I may have been too young to know
I think the AO rating was approximately an M. No, that's just one of those things that they change every now and then.
There was no MA.
No, but I think they basically split AO into MA and M. I think it used to be basically
No,
like...
there used to be an R, didn't there? Did there?
No, yeah, but that was above that still.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, just like it is now. But they basically took what's AO, what was AO then, I think, is now either M or MA. They basically split that rating
I'm hearing
to
what you
give
say.
two higher levels.
But just wait 1 second. So, what was AO? Because M is, we recommend it should be 15 over.
Yeah.
MA is, it has to be 15 over. R is, you have to be an adult. You have to be 18 over.
Yeah.
What was AO?
Pretty much closer to M.
But that's not adults only then.
Dude, it was a different goddamn classification. What do you want me to say? It was different.
know.
For a start, I was about 8.
Yes.
Secondly...
Did you see many AO movies?
Yes,
when you were
heaps.
8? Really?
Yes. Secondly, it was a different classification, and it encapsulated, I think, both of those categories. That's why they went with a different one, to basically break out the ones that were a higher level and make them more restrictive.
Obviously, there's AO ratings over in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, they have very different classifications.
Yeah, AO is closer to our R. AO is our R, basically.
Pretty much. Is it, actually? Cause
no, it is.
Everything for them is 21.
Well, I mean, it might not be the exact same terms, but it's adults only. It's whatever they consider adult.
The point is, Manhunt
adult for an American doesn't mean the same
actually,
as here.
The most important thing is that a lot of the big retailers over in the States will not stock.
Yeah, Walmart in
game.
particular is famous for it, and I think EB and all the others have the same sort of policies.
It's the death wish of a big game in the States.
The death wish. They wish for death.
No, hold on. The killing blow.
Death knell.
The death.
You're probably going for death knell.
More death. The death move.
The death move.
Yes.
Like
the
fatality.
kiss of death.
The kiss of
kiss
death.
of death.
Oh my God.
We
got there eventually. Go Yug with the awesome metaphors.
It was the kiss of death. It would be the kiss of death if it's not in a lot of stores. Like when Grand Theft Auto got pulled off the shelves sort of thing. Or Walmart pulled off the shelves for the content side of it. But the other thing is, it has been completely and utterly and totally refused classification in the UK.
Yeah, now the UK has a very similar system to us in that if a game is refused classification, it just can't be legally sold.
They're PAL over there as well, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's not that relevant anymore.
Okay.
Because all games are high def anyway, they don't have PAL.
But
I mean, it's granted the Wii does and so on.
But in the same respect, no, a 360 game cannot be played on a American 360.
Yeah, but that's because of region coding. It has nothing to do with the screen.
But the games are region coded.
Yeah. The Wii isn't.
Hold on. But you can still play the Xbox 360 on normal TV. It doesn't have to be high def.
I know. But it can output PAL and NTSC. It can output whatever the hell it wants.
All right.
What, do you think that's hard?
I don't know. Dude, 6 months ago, I couldn't even tell the difference between component and AV cables, alright? So...
Okay, valid, and you did just say Death Wish instead of Kiss of Death.
There is that.
Yeah, I was probably expecting a little bit too much there, and I apologise.
I accept that apology.
Alright, the other thing is not only...
I don't have to be smart, I just have to look good.
And well done. So both the United States and Britain have essentially banned it. What's particularly interesting, I think, in the United States is that while it's been given an AO classification and therefore most stores won't sell it, it can actually be legally sold. But Sony and Nintendo have pulled it. They won't sell it. Despite the fact that it can legally be sold, they're not selling it because their policies say they refuse to sell an AO game.
Obviously, Rockstar are extremely concerned about this, and
I suggest that Rockstar are concerned, and Take-Two particularly, who are doing the actual paying of money. I wouldn't walk under their building at the moment, unless you have a very large, strong umbrella.
Why?
Falling executives.
Are you kidding? Can you imagine any better publicity for a game? Once they get over this...
There's no such thing as bad publicity. This is true, but they're going to take a bath on this. I was reading how much they're going to lose on this.
That's if the game does not get classification or does not.
No, that's in the process of actually getting it classification. They will easily lose half their profit.
Why?
Because they have to actually go through such an expensive process. Then they have to re-advertise the whole thing, relaunch it, reship it. all the stuff that they've already budgeted for, all the stuff that they've already spent the money for, they're going to have to do again, plus extra development time, later release.
Where's all that coming from?
From the internet.
Yep. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're going to be...
Go to gamepolitics.com, it's there. I was looking at it just before.
No, I believe you. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they've calculated how much they're going to lose and all this kind of thing. But
they basically have three choices. Either just try and sell it a bit, cancel it totally, or try to have it reclassified like they did.
Well, they're going to try and have it reclassified. They're going to change the game as much as they can and try and have it reclassified, I would imagine.
But the point is that the profit that they make from that is actually going to be quite substantially lowered, half the profit, because of the additional costs. There's not that huge a margin in video games anyway, and when you've got to do the same launch twice, the advertising twice.
I'm simply saying that on the flip side, everyone's going to want to play this game that has been refused. It's sick and it's twisted, but it's true. This game has been refused class. It is the only game. Well, it's not the only game, but it's like it's got this stigma about it that everyone's going to be like, I want to know.
I think you might be overestimating the amount of extra sales they're going to get from that.
I might be overestimating it, but you're also that's an assumption on how much they're actually going to spend and how much their budgets actually are, and we don't know all that stuff for a fact.
No, I know, but I'll be honest, I'm going to go with the article I read on Game Politics as opposed to your
I'm going to go with my instincts.
Okay,
yes.
Yug's instincts. You've heard it here.
I want to know, does everyone's... Who do people side with? Matt's facts from the internet or my instincts and wild theories? Now, really?
Yeah, don't ask that.
Yeah.
Because actually it'll probably make me look bad.
That's right.
Everyone goes, yeah, whatever Yug said. The thing about stuff.
Well, you already look like one of the extras from Brokeback Mountain with that jacket.
Hey, I feel like one of the extras from Brokeback Mountain, man. Seriously. That Larksa went right through me.
Oh.
That's stinging. Yeah, so Manhunt 2 banned everywhere. It'll be banned in Australia, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. I'm actually looking forward to being angry about that. I've got a little party set up.
Really?
And I can't wait for.
You got people we got to call and
banning day. Yep.
It's
I'm looking forward to the.
I might actually
being outraged.
I might actually ask
Rockstar
in Australia. I might actually hit up because we've got contacts with Rockstar here in Australia. I might say, so are you even gonna try?
Yeah.
I mean, are you gonna? Are you gonna? Like,
yeah.
Is there any point to even trying to get this classified in Australia at the moment?
Do you want to maybe try to say that in a way that isn't insanely offensive?
It's not offensive at all, is it?
Yeah, no. You could say, considering the problems this has had overseas and considering how famously draconian Australian censorship laws are.
No.
Will you be considering this for release in Australia, or will you simply bypass that and Australia misses out? Or you could say, "Hey, buddy,
I'll go.
You're gonna bother?
I'll go.
Are you gonna bother, man?"
Yeah, I'll go with the latter. I went out drinking with them when they were up here in Brisbane, so it's all good.
Fair enough.
It's this connection, the alcohol connection.
Yes. Fantastic.
What else? Hey, this is just one big abusive bitching podcast, because the last thing we're going to talk about is Project Joystick.
Yeah, if I'm going to bitch at anyone about this, it's AJ. I'm actually really not. I'm not in agreement with him. I'm fully supportive of him. I just don't agree.
Yep, no, that's fair enough. And I am fully supportive of AJ. But I'm also sort of sitting on the fence. Like I agree with everything he is saying. I agree with the principles of everything he is saying. I don't think it's that huge an issue, though.
No, but
I think I think.
Yeah, if you want to. We've both said dumber things tonight. Why stop there? No, I think the thing with that is that it's not that big a deal to us, but it is a big deal to AJ, and I think that's why he's taking it so seriously.
That is true, and I think that's why I support it as well, because and he does have a very good point. Look, anyone that doesn't know, Project Joystick is
mention that.
It's this competition that's being run by Big Pond and the ACMI as well.
Which is the Australian Clinical Medical Institute.
AMCI?
Oh, I don't know.
ACMI, Australian... Oh, crap. Motion Images Pictures something.
Motion Capture
Institute.
Aren't they the people that were in Canberra? Didn't we introduce them at E-Games?
I don't know. Actually, I could be... Look, it's something...
It's a place.
It's academy. It's academic. It's an academic gaming place. Very well known and
except to us. All right, yeah.
Anyway, like they're combined. The whole look, to sum it up, it's basically Big Pond said they're gonna sink $1 million into a project based on an IP.
Yeah, send us an idea.
Send us an idea, and we're gonna sink $1 million to get that game made.
Yep.
Which is exciting and fantastic. Now, the debate that's going on at the moment is in the fine print, and the fine print is what they're going to do is they're actually going to take the top 10 IPs and keep them.
Yep.
So they keep the license to those IPs. The top one, the winner, they're actually going to take that IP and give that winner $20,000 worth of Big Pond stuff.
Yep.
And
which the second prize is $40,000 worth of Big Pond stuff.
Is it?
It was a joke.
Oh.
See, what I'm saying is Big Pond stuff is so bad that getting more of it is actually
down the track there. I see. Actually,
you see
number
what
one prize should actually win nothing. So
yeah.
So they're going to take the IP and they're going to sink the money into to make that a game. Now
the first one, the winner.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's very much about the intellectual property. I mean, if you come up with an idea and you enter this competition, at the end of the competition, you might have won a couple of prizes and stuff like that, but you've ultimately lost your idea, your IP, and there's no guarantees of recognition, profits, or anything.
Yeah, when they say they'll invest $1 million, but what they actually mean is they're going to make the game. You have no involvement in it once you get your $20,000 worth of,
it's
30 pieces of silver.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a biblical reference. It was just totally out of place.
It was.
I just like the sound out of it because it
does.
It sounds kind of literary.
Silver.
Yeah.
So it makes people go, "Oh, hold on!
Ooh.
Did he just say?
Oh,
that was on that.
Did he sell Jesus?
Did he sell that?
I think he sold Jesus on the podcast.
That makes sense.
And then they go, he doesn't have Jesus. He has Yug, who's about as far away from being Jesus as possible.
I think so. Yes. But more like a buddy Christ. So.
Yeah. He turns wine into water frequently.
Yes, if I can. So, yeah, that's the Project Joystick, and AJ is very passionate about this because he is actually making.
There's a lot of yelling.
He is making his own game at the moment. He has got a project that's in the works at the moment.
Yeah.
But not just AJ. I've actually seen on a lot of different forums. There's been quite a bit of talk about this around the place.
Yeah, there has.
And it's more about the principle of the matter. Like,
it's partially the principle, but it's also partially the wording. People think, we'll invest $1 million into your idea. People think that means that they'll actually get to make their game, but they won't. It's taken from them.
Yeah,
that's causing a bit of.
I also think if Big Pond had perhaps said, we'll give you prizes for the winning IP, and then we'll make it into a game, and you'll get recognition.
Yeah, but that's kind of long to fit on a banner ad.
Yeah,
I think really all they were going for, I think they were, to be honest, I just think they were totally upfront with what they're going to do, which is they will invest $1 million into your idea. And you can piss off and enjoy your Big Pond internet access.
See, I actually think it's more the principle of the competition that's a little bit... It seems to promote this spirit of ideas and all this kind of stuff, while at the same time completely taking those ideas away from the people that come up with them.
But in my opinion, an idea isn't worth that much. Sorry, AJ and I have a massive disagreement on this one.
I know you do. And my opinion is, look, what are the chances of that person having their idea made into a big game? What's the chance of this game working out? What are the chances of anything, blah, blah? It is impossible these days, I would say, for one person to make a game based on their idea, solely on their... I've worked in game development companies. We have done that. We have done the tours. It is so difficult to make.
Can I say two words?
Yeah, what are they?
War World.
3 people, yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
I'm not saying that... And obviously one of them started it.
And it
can be done. Look, it can be done. Independent game development can be done. My point, I think, is that...
And there is a lot of Xbox Live stuff, and there's lots of opportunities, there's lots of online stuff. I know, but it's certainly not like it used to be back
Well,
in the
no, it's not.
golden days and all that kind of stuff.
It's not, because you know what? It takes money. It takes $1 million worth of money.
Yeah.
And anyone who thinks they get $1 million worth of money for free is wrong.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I think maybe it's just it feels a little bit dodgy that they win 20 grand worth of Telstra stuff when what they probably really want is involvement somehow.
Yeah,
in that game.
I do agree that would be cool, but that's not what the competition is.
Well, it should be.
What if you've got a 6-year-old who enters his Robot Ninja game, and they go, yeah, what the hell? Let's just make the Robot Ninja game. The 6-year-old should be apprenticed at Tantalus or something. Like what? How would that work?
Yep. He can be a QA tester.
Okay.
Easy.
No, I do think it'd be good if part of the prize, and part of the prize apparently is a
actually that is
like an industry learning package or something like that. But what's involved in that exactly, no one's sure because they haven't actually picked the developer who'll be doing this.
I mean, fundamentally, at the end of the day, we haven't exactly come up with a Project Joystick competition from the front of Australian gamers, so it is a good thing in general. But I can see how it's arced some people.
Another thing is that we haven't entered either. I don't know about you, but I haven't entered.
I've got this awesome idea for a game. Actually, you know what? I'm going to enter with the official Australian Gamer game.
I was going to enter with details that were just exactly Deus Ex, and I was going to attach like concept art that was called Deus Ex Screenshot 1, and just basically like just have the storyline of like change his name from Denton to Renton and stuff like that. I really wanted to do that, to just send Deus Ex as a game concept to someone.
Come on, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. But it's funny to actually talk about it than to send it to them, because that takes effort.
And their response might not be any good. It sounds like more of a thing Brett would do, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah,
okay, well, look, basically I think Joby and AJ are going to continue to argue this one over in the forums, which is fine.
Well, no, me too. I've been in there.
Have you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been backing up Joe because no one else is. He's been on his own dealing with very, very bad argument.
Well, frankly, I mean, on the flip side of it, I thought Joby came at it from an independent point of view, but no, he actually works for Game Arena.
Yeah, he actually is connected to Big Pond. So he is, in fact, a corporate shill.
Yeah,
he is the mouthpiece.
Love that word.
Oh, yeah. He is, in fact, the mouthpiece of Satan himself.
It's unfortunate because he's got that stigma about him now whenever he's arguing about this competition.
Yeah.
So,
again, so the fact that he's totally right is
doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But that's why it makes it interesting that you're on his side, I suppose you could say. But
yeah. Well, I am. I just agree.
I don't really think anyone's wrong. I just think it's just arced up some people's backs about IPs and
I think
it's just gotten under people's skins. Fine print and
I think the main thing that's been the problem is that people have different opinions of what the competition is and should be.
But where did they get those opinions from? The competition itself. Do you know what I mean?
The competition is open to anyone over the age of 5 years old, and they're basically asking for people to submit their idea for
I think it's silly that it's open to anyone over the age of 5 years old. I think that's silly.
Why? A 6-year-old's not allowed to think up game ideas?
Nope, they have no good ideas whatsoever.
Right, that's interesting.
People don't have any good ideas until they can legally drink.
Right. Strange coincidence there. But yeah, no, people... it's basically open to anyone, and I don't think they're looking for fully fleshed out, ready-to-build games with a game engine
But they're going to get entries like that. They will. They're going to get a lot of
If you've put 6 months' work into what essentially is a video game survey / colouring in competition, if you put that much work into it and you send it to them with a little stamp that says, please take my idea and stick it up my bottom, says you're right.
You know, on the flip side, there might be a lot of people out there that have been developing a game unsuccessfully that are going to submit their ideas and their game ideas to this competition.
Yep. And they lose their IP by doing so. They forfeit their IP by doing so. That's the choice they have to make. Do you see your game realised and made, or do you not? I just personally think that if you get 20 grand for your game idea, good on you. 20 grand worth of even Telstra stuff. You get
yeah.
good on you, because I don't think a game idea is worth very much, not in and of itself. Think about some of the best games ever made, ever in the history of the world.
Doom was awesome.
That's not a very good idea. Really, is it? Mario is not a very good idea.
It was brilliant.
It's a brilliant game, but it's a stupid idea.
And like I said, see, brilliant. People thought about that only comes from people when they're drunk.
Yes, but that's not really the point. The point is that ideas are meaningless and ideas are valueless. Sorry, AJ, that's my point of view. That's just how I feel.
It's a good thing. Yeah,
I'm not saying that your well-developed, well-thought-out game concept that you've put a lot of effort into and so on has no value. You've put work into it, you've put thought into it and time into it, and great, it could well end up being a very good idea, and it could well end up being a very good product. And I have no doubt that with AJ's skills and AJ's abilities, he can make something good if he can get the support he needs. But it's not going to come from Telstra for filling in a competition.
Sort of like Australian Game. Like, we put a lot of energy and time and creativity into it, sort of thing. But that doesn't mean it's any good.
I wouldn't have thought creativity.
Screw you. All right, we're wrapping this up for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to listen to our basically half hour worth of whinging.
Yeah, we'll try to whinge less next time.
We will whinge less. We'll talk about more relevant things and stop whinging. Yeah.
No, we won't talk about relevant things, because that's what the whinging is all about.
Very good.
No one ever posts about awesome game released. There's always, whining.
Whining. And that's what we're about here, whining.
Hopefully Manhunt will have been banned by then, so we can have a good solid.
We can whine about that too. All right, thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll talk to you again next week.
See you later, people. Bye.